Fallout setting D&D stats where my character is a Nuka-Cola machine. That somehow one of the party's 2 healers, despite the party only having 3 characters. Funnily enough, though. So, yeah, I finally played some D&D again today. That's what I went and did. And yes, I decided to use the intelligent magic item stuff. And DM allowed me to play as a vending machine, and after all of my concerns of trying to make everything work, and because it's not just D&D, it's also mixed with D20, so it's basically a Fallout setting, you know. Hello, Azura is here to talk about it as well. Hello, Azura. Oh, I see you said hello to me and our viewer. Awesome. Because recording and only like one person actually watches these. Chandra? Right. Yeah, it's just, I was just trying to talk about my latest D&D session. That was a Fallout setting. So my character was essentially a Nuka-Cola machine. To be a vending machine. It just works out very, very well. And it turns out everyone in town hikes up their prices for, like, stim packs and stuff, so my prices being, you know, half price and all that, are really, really good. We dealt with a Night Stalker? And we were able to work together to take its venom. The other 2 party members managed to take, like, the fangs out of it, and I rolled a nat 20 on my craft chemistry roll to take as much venom as possible from it. So yeah, we were able to make a whole lot of really high-selling venom. So if we can sell at least 2 of those bottles, then before the next session I can upgrade my character so I can take 10 to craft stuff like Radaway, Stim Packs, and Rad X's. Oh yeah, very much so, yeah. So I can just, you know... And since the prices on those are so decently cheap, I can craft one in, like, a couple of hours, maybe? Depends on exactly which crafting rules are being used, but... Yeah, I can craft quite a few of them per day. So I don't strictly have to worry about, you know, the party needing health and not being able to get it. And during downtime, I can just sell off supplies to buy more crafting materials. So yeah, I'm the party's healer. And I actually found a perfect magic item ability to take from my 3rd feat. Because intelligent magic items can take the abilities of other magic items with a value up to and including 5,000 gold as one of their feats that they get. So I took, like, Bag of Holding Mark II, because relic items are off the table for this. DM agreed to that, so... Or Demon said as much, so... Bag of Holding Mark II to hold a bunch of extra stuff, so I'm the party's pack mule. Shoot, what was the second one? Is like Slippers of Quickness or something? So 5 times a day I can teleport 20 feet. as, I think, like a move action, so that's, you know, useful. And I took, I think it was Horn of Resilience. So 2 times a day, I can give myself and all allies who stay within 30 feet of me damage reduction 5 for 5 rounds. So between that and making healing salves to apply to our primary fighter who took a whole lot of damage, just me by myself saved our main DPS from dying multiple times in a single combat. So, you know, I was very useful. So how was your day? Did you hang out with your grandma today? Good. Oh god. One of the party members wants to eventually, like, multi-class into wizard or something. And the exchange rate is 1 cap is equal to a copper piece. So it's like, well, to get the wizard book and get all the spells in it that I want, like buying scrolls and transferring the spells over, it would cost a bit over 1.2 million caps. You know what our prize, you know what our reward was for going into ghoul-infested radiated territory and rescuing someone from a Night Stalker? 500 caps each. Fortunately, we were able to bring back the Night Stalker, sell that for, what was it, about 1,200 caps, and take its venom out. 8 doses of venom that sell for... oh, that sell for 7,500 caps apiece. So yeah, 1 vial of Night Stalker venom is worth multiple times more than the actual reward was. So, you know, there's that. Don't mind me just leveling up fishing a little bit. You know, as I do. Oh yeah. Also, I think I found my character's most useful method of damage, but I'm going to have to test it out next time we go into combat. I fall on top of them. That'd be it. Wait, have people not been able to hear this whole time? It's always hard to tell. I think I might have just been, okay, yeah, now people can hear you. I don't know if they could before. Whoops. So say hi, Azura.
Hi, Azura.
You brat. Also, I totally forgot to make, or totally neglected to make my stew last night, so I'm just hungry now. It's like 8 p.m. and all I've had to eat was some crackers. You know how it goes. Oh yeah, also, some member of the party decided to light the factory on fire while the combat was still going on. Now, in my defense, I didn't think the whole building would ignite that fast. Someone should have asked the DM if we got experience for all of the ghouls we killed in the fire. But hey, we got up to level 2, so that's cool. But yeah. I don't know, I kind of like playing in a campaign where all of the player characters are overpowered to, like, the same extent. Like, we have a... Yeah, like, we have a DPS character who can deal, like, 20 to 30 damage, like, per turn. Note, this is level 1. We have me, the vending machine. And considering this is a Fallout setting where radiation is one of the strongest hazards and I'm immune to being irradiated, yeah, very good. And we have a paladin. The only other character in that fight to not take any damage. I think the NPC we went to rescue might have been fine, but the DMPC that came along with us, because we're supposed to have another actual player character, but they didn't show up, so the DM threw an NPC to be there with us. They almost died. Fortunately, though, we were able to save them. We carried them out of the burning building, and I had some, I had some antitoxin to give them. So, you know, they're fine.
Welcome, friend.
I come to buy, but also primarily to sell. Right, Moondrop sells for 180 each. Drop a seed. I buy for 260. So that would be, you know, 180. Where is phone? It's in my pocket. Alright, so minus 520 divided by the 6 days. So that's about 183 per day. Honestly, not a lot. Considering 183, I could just catch maybe 4 fish to make that same amount of money. So until I get like a seed maker thing, I don't think I necessarily should worry about these flowers. And yeah, unless I need gifts, which gifts don't work on Alicia. They are, we have about 24 grand, so we can make sure that Alicia always keeps it nice and sunny. Oh, wait a second.
Welcome, friend. Morning.
Oh, flower festival. I guess I should have kept my flowers. Whoops. Is it too late to keep them? Probably is. Yeah, it's much too late to keep them.
Morning.
Well, hopefully my other flowers bloom tomorrow, or else, whatever.
Welcome, friend. Welcome, friend.
I really don't like that you can only buy 1 stack of items at a time. I have one more stack that would last all for 2 days. Fine.
Welcome, friend.
I only need 5, but doesn't matter. Okay then. So, what was it? Yes. A group met in a town. The NPC bought my character from a person selling, quote, weird robots. All of them could be harvested if I had a harvest basket. I did not, however. God, seriously, why has it gone like wet one? Water 1 is cute. I'd love to be able to harvest. Just harvest up a whole bunch of eggs, but unfortunately don't have the thing for it. Don't know how to get the thing for it. Should probably go and look it up so I can do the whatever stuff for that.
Morning. Sim, slabim.
Woohoo! Magic level 1. Hey, Alicia likes us a little bit more. Cool. Don't think I have any plants in there, so now it's just a matter of, I guess, talk to people and then also do a bunch of fishing. I guess do some fishing while looking up what I need to get the harvest bag. Oh gosh. I don't want to, but am I going to have to do Rune Factory Tides of Destiny watering can only run? Ugh, I really don't want to do that game. So yeah, I know that I know I always say such great things, but oof. I know I always say such great things about all of the Boom Factory games, but that particular game is not so good. One I could never really get into, partially because the farming part of the game is essentially zero. Yeah, instead of getting, a big old field to plant in, or, even planting seeds in a 3x3 field, you get a little, like, one spot, like a 1x1 tile. And you get a couple of those, and like that, and spread, placed very far apart, and yeah, that's the farming. You can grow on that. The idea is you start off on an island in the middle of basically the ocean, and there are other islands off in the distance. You get access to a giant stone golem thing that can walk along the ocean, so you can go to these other islands. However, the giant walks so slowly that the time it takes to get to the other islands is potentially multiple days. However, you also get a teleporter between, like, your home on the main island to the stone golem, so you can, like, say, go onto the golem, go onto the golem, spend several hours walking, then go back home, and like that. Okay, that's your end-game day. You spend some time walking. That was what you did that day.
So I've been looking into
hi.
one particular mod I want from Mass Effect because I just bought the Legendary Edition.
Cool, cool.
Specifically, well, first of all, have you played any of Mass Effect?
I briefly played the first one, didn't really care for it.
Ah. Well, long story short, there is a character who... Well, let's just say a lot of the fan base, myself included, really wishes you'd be able to romance them while playing as a female character.
Uh-huh.
And here's the problem. For the non-legendary edition version, there is a mod that allows that. However, that specific mod creator has explicitly said, don't, copy this or port it or blah, blah, blah without express permission, and has said that he's going to make a version for this, for the Legendary Edition. But he said that 2 years ago, and there has been no word since.
Yikes.
So it seems very unlikely someone's going to do that. However, there is a mod that ostensibly just that does it for the Mass Effect 2 portion, and from what I'm seeing, it does sort of carry over into Mass Effect 3, just basically in every instance she'll refer to you as basically as if you're playing the male character.
Ah.
Because, of course, they didn't actually record any proper ones, in the original version. So, whereas the mods for, like, the second game, the first game where she is romanceable, there were assets that were made, but were cut from the eventual release. But they were just never made for the actual final game.
Good afternoon.
So, and that's the thing, like, the mod for the non-legendary version, the person actually had to go and, like, create voice lines and basically reproduce her voice, sort of. Which just really makes it suck that there isn't a proper equivalent. It's just like, you know what? I think I can probably live with her mistakenly calling me a dude. If it means I don't have to make and play as a male character.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the thing. In my opinion, like, that would... She is the only reason for me to play as a male character.
Oh, gosh.
So it's just like, why would I?
It reminds me of that one Sword Art Online game that I bought because it said, like, hey, make your own, like, Sword Art Online character. Use, like, the tools, like, as if you're, as if you were one of the people in the game. Play through it, like you're in there, but just not in VR and you're not actually trapped. Like, that's the premise. There'll be, like, some loose ties to, like, the main gameplay, but for the most part, it's just you going through was it Alan card. So I bought the game because like, oh yeah, that's cool. Character creation. It's like, alright, make my character, boom, 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 female of course. I think like dual wields. I don't think necessarily dual wields, whatever. Use like a spear or something, whatever. Get into the game. And no, you're just playing Kyoto with a new skin over top of you. That's it. None of the stuff in there said, like, play as Kyoto. It all said, play as your own character. And you even get to put in your character's name, too. But no, everyone just calls you Kyoto, and then your character talks with Kyoto's voice. And just is Kyoto. You don't even get to choose the things that your character says. And also, the gameplay for the game itself was bad.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. It wasn't even a fun gameplay experience to begin with.
I mean, I've had thoughts on this before, but Sword Art Online just doesn't actually seem like a very fun game.
Well, it very well could have been, but like, mission number 1, aka the tutorial mission to teach you how to play, it does the thing where it's like, tells you, it's like, hey, hold up and press circle to do, like, you know, a combo attack. And then, of course, the boss is immune to all damage until you do a combo attack, which is like, this is the tutorial, that's understandable. However, holding up, pushing circle, did nothing. It's like, okay, maybe up and hit, like, a different button. It's like, no, nothing. No, nothing I could do could initiate a combo attack. And then it's like, so after 20 to 30 minutes of trying, with basically every minute the game pausing to say, hold up and press circle to do a combo attack. Eventually, like, you can't just initiate a combo attack. One of your NPC allies has to be standing right next to you, and they have to initiate it. Then you can hold up and press circle to do the combo attack.
What?
Yes, you had to wait for the NPC to initiate the attack in order to do it together, which would be fine. I think there's like a little like combo icon above the character's head. In the middle of combat, this is like a time-based game, not turn-based, so yeah, it's a real-time combat. So you probably miss that happening, but you have to be basically standing next to the character when they try to initiate a combo, then you can hold up and press circle to combo with them. And that would be fine if it wasn't for the fact that the tutorial was forcing me to do a combo attack while also making it so I could not do a combo attack for like half an hour.
Oh.
So the tutorial took about maybe 2 hours to get through because of stuff like that. And then I get to like the game itself. It's like, okay, like free roam running around the town. And the game's like, hey, go talk to Asuna. And it's like, okay. I go to like run up to her. It's like, oh shoot, I'm not quite close enough to her. I can't talk to her. Tap the movement button. I think I was using a controller. So like just tap the stick a little bit. I run 6 feet past her. Trying to actually talk to someone where you have to be, you know, within a certain range and facing them, when the smallest of movements puts you all the way through that entire range increment, and you run through NPCs instead of just, you know, literally running into them to talk. It's like, you can't... So, talking to people is a nightmare. Combat is a nightmare. What am I supposed to do in this game that's just talking to people and combat? Plus, I can't even play as my own character. There's an option for disabling the protagonist's voice, so you don't have to actually hear Kyoto's voice, but you can just, like, you're still reading it from Kyoto's... You're still reading what Kyoto says, but then everyone else still refers to you as Kyoto and he. And it's like, that's not what I signed up for this game. That's not what I wanted. But of course, since it took me 2 hours to get through the tutorial fight, I'd played it too much to be able to refund it.
Oof. Oh yeah, because you played for more than 2 hours, right?
Yeah. And then, like a year or two later, I find a game on Steam that's also a Sword Art Online game. Different name. I went to my Steam library, I checked. Different name. No, it's the same game. And on Steam, you just can't refund games. Because I'd heard that there is a Sword Art Online game that's very different from that, and like people who hate this one really like that one, but I've never been able to find that one. Gun Game Online is solidly fun, though. You do actually get to make your own character. And be your own character. I used to play it on my GPD, on my handheld computer. Not like a lot, but at least a bit. Running into battle with like just dual SMGs, just lovely chaos energy. Yeah. Anyway, the D&D games seemed to go well. There was one minor incident of a player potentially being a problem player, but they were kicked out of the game before the game began. I didn't get to hear the whole story, but essentially, player made a character. DM said, "Oh yeah, this character's fine." And then, like, an hour before the game was set to begin, the player was all like, "Oh, I don't like that character. I'm gonna make a new one." The DM is all like, "I mean, if you're sure, but like, I've already written plot to do with this character." And the player's like, "No, I'm gonna make a new one." So, eventually game time goes around. And we're like, 20 minutes after game time is supposed to have started, and the person is still like working on their level 1 character, and they refuse to use the old one. They want to use this new one, but it's like, the game was supposed to start like 20 minutes ago, and you're still working on a character, and then the person says, "Oh, well, I'm not feeling well anyway, I'll just skip this session." And DM's all like, I think you should play with other people. And kicked the guy from the session, from the game. Because it's like, again, I don't know the full story. I don't know all the stuff that's been said. I just know what the DM has told us.
I see.
And that the DM had spent at least half an hour, at least, messaging this person. And getting messages, like, talking with this person back and forth about stuff, so. No, whatever. Yeah. The other players didn't even mind when my character screwed up a couple of times. Accidentally setting off an alarm and accidentally starting a combat encounter.
Can you test something for me?
Probably not, but what is it?
Can you just send me a message over Discord?
Yeah, I can do that. Let me just grab my phone.
Thank you. Perfect, thank you.
Yes, you quacked.
Yes, that was why. So.
I'm trying to set the quack back.
Basically, Discord was being weird. It crashed. It restarted. and I had to it said I had 15 updates, and then I had to reinstall Better Discord,
I apologize,
and I
everyone, for
wanted
what just
to
happened.
test that it was working. So,
Well, sure looks like it's, or it sounds like it's working.
indeed.
I have to say, these stews I've been making have been, really nice and useful. So much so to the point that I don't have a stew today and I have no idea what I'm supposed to be eating.
Well, the correct answer is stew.
Well, I don't have a stew.
Well, then obviously you need to.
You know, unfortunately that takes at least 8 hours to make, so... I wonder if I can make a nice stew with fish. You think that'd be any good?
Oh.
I mean, fish is just a meat like any other, right? Probably be as good as beef or turkey. Okay. But what if I took this stew made with fish and I put that on a pizza? No, not very good. No fish stew pizza?
You're weird.
Yeah. I mean, I am the one playing as a vending machine in a Fallout D&D game, so... Yeah. DM agreed that while the party has downtime in town, they can just basically just leave me out and I can passively sell items to the people. It's not quite as great as it was in the anime, considering I still have to, you know, make the materials and I can't just like sell red bean buns or anything like that. But oh gosh, healing salve. It is was it 1d3 plus 2 healing? And the price, I just have to pay 1 silver. Take 10 on a craft check to auto-make it in not very much time at all, and then I can just make healing salves. Which are very, very useful things.
Quack.
Yeah, D&D doesn't really have much of the low-level stuff. Was it? Yeah. Cheap healing items stuff. I think the cheapest healing item is like a healing potion, and that's like, what, 100 gold or something? Are these flowers good? Nope, flowers are still not grown. Yeah, I wanted one of my magical abilities to have healing, but instead just settled on carrying capacity, mobility, and damage reduction for the party. Oh, also my character has an official title in the group now. Vendor, the friendly Dalek.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. My name's Vendor. Please insert quarters.
That.
Morning.
Okay.
Cast haste on the party. Why did I just blank out when I was about to say that? Whatever. Whatever. It's all been good fun so far, so it's nice. Hello, people. Everyone is out and about for the flower festival today. Except Alicia.
Mm.
Morning.
Hi, cool. Oh, hi.
Yes, hello?
Hello.
Hello,
Oh,
yep, I am
Alicia.
Bob.
Oh my gosh, she knows. Is there a DC this? Alicia knows.
Yeah! Yay!
Okay, do we ask her to look at the flowers? Or ask if she likes cherry blossoms? Let's ask her
Okay. Yeah, well, yeah, let's ask about the flowers.
Morning. Good morning.
Alright.
Morning.
Cherry Blossom Square.
Which I believe is, yeah, that way. Is she magically already here? Oh. You were in a cutscene.
Yes. According to my fortune, you should have just gotten here. My fortune says that couples who go on a date here have a high chance of getting married. Well, good.
Oh, my.
My fortunes are never wrong. Yeah, why couldn't she have been the fortune teller from Danganronpa?
I'm sure there's a mod for that.
Oh, come on. I mean, from a storytelling perspective, you wouldn't... Oh, hey, she loves us an extra little bit now. From a storytelling...
Hooray!
Cecilia and Mana also love us a little now. Everyone likes us because we've talked to them during this event. We just need to actually talk to everyone in town today.
Yes.
You get lots of friend points if we talk to them today. Stuff, things, reasons.
Good morning.
Are we
Ever wonder
asking...
how flowers taste?
Because we're not asking Rosalind out on a date.
Exactly.
Although, we do need her to like us a bit more, so she sends us on her level 2 quest. Because if we can get her to send us on the next quest, then we can get the harvest basket so we can harvest from our
Yeah,
chickens.
she's at 1-1 now, so
Fortunately, we can't do a quest today, so I'm gonna have to check in tomorrow.
Morning.
what else do you sell?
Party favors? I kinda do want to buy some party favors.
I want to buy some party flavors.
Okay, we have birthday cake. Hope you will go to. Hey Barrett, you want to go look at the cherry blossoms with me?
If it gives us the option, take it.
Unfortunately, not. Ooh.
Are these straws?
Yeah, strawberries.
Why do 2 of them have those glowing things?
Runes. When a plant is fully grown, it has, it gives off runes that in this game fill up half of our rune point bar.
Oh, nice. So now would be a good day to train up a skill that uses up rune points, right?
Yeah.
Ow. Ow.
Yeah, I heard the character.
Ow. Eh, that thing had ducks over its head.
Right. I have a plan. First, check to see if time passes when we're in here. It looks like it does not. Wait! If we can actually get a fish from this. I don't think there are any fish programmed to be caught here. It's the missing fish glitch.
So what are you leveling up by doing this?
Fishing.
Wait, so your fishing just increases the more times you just cast?
Yeah, cast it. To be fair, if you don't catch a fish, fishing level only goes up a little tiny bit. But since we have basically an entire free bar of rune points that we can just get
Neat.
from those 2 strawberries, we might as well spend all of our rune points doing this.
Neat.
Yeah, very much so.
Huh. Neat.
Vending machine lights the building on fire. Evacuate! Party sees 2 ghouls in a room together, theorizes that there are probably more around. Extrapolate! Water gets spilled on the ground. Party really wants it to go away fast. Evaporate!
You having fun?
I mean, it was enjoyable, yes.
Good.
Vending machine tries to climb up a set of stairs, falls down onto an abandoned abandoned factory floor. Welcome to the Circus of Values! It might have bumped its head a little bit. Forgot what game I was in. Also, all of the best animal companions are only available in not now. But yeah, I was able to get some for watering the farm, so that's cool.
Nice.
Oh, that's it. Vending machine cascades on the party, expedite. No? No one's in here? No? Okay, then. Expedite. You remember, like, a week ago, whatever, when it was, like, really storming here? Like, a lot?
Yeah.
The wind was, so hard that it actually knocked my pride flag out of my window.
Weird.
Yeah, I just walked on over to the living room and there's the flag just sitting on the ground.
Good morning.
Yeah, I can't wait until my vending machine character gets access to, disintegrate. Considering that it's basically supposed to be a Dalek anyway.
Oh.
Wait. Huh. Come to think of it, this is the season we met, isn't it? Douglas, we met less than 2 weeks ago. Walk up to a random person on the street like, huh, this is the day we met, wasn't it? On this day, 0 years ago, at this exact spot, too. Yeah, the 0-year anniversary of when we first met.
Very interesting.
Speaking of which, when do you think we're going to be spending our New Year's together? Probably when there's some reason for me to be in Edmonton around New Year's, honestly.
I mean, yeah. That basically is how that would go.
I think it could be nice to do like winter festivities stuff together. We could build a snowman, go on a sleigh ride, go see the lights that get set up at like town square, whatever. Go watch a parade, maybe. Did I tell you that Chandra and I met at a parade?
Yes.
Oh, you know, fun times. No, I'll have to pause. I don't know if this flower festival has anything going on, like, in the evening, so I don't want to just skip the whole rest of the day. But also, like, if there isn't anything to do, then there isn't anything to do, you know? Wait, strawberries only sell for 180? Oh, right, they do regrow, but seeing that the seeds are like 5,400 each. Gosh, that sure isn't a lot of money. Yeah, it's nowhere near my Rune Factory 1 sweet potato farm that makes, what is it, 50 grand a day. I really don't know why, for so much stuff, they seem to have, like, gone backwards for Rune Factory 2, as opposed to, in comparison to Rune Factory 1. Like, you start off the game and you're basically in a demo for the first year. And I know that I very often say, like, hey, they should put in, like, slow down the story of Rune Factory to encourage the player to go and explore different areas, blah, blah, blah. But, like, this much is just ridiculous.
You're ridiculous.
Like, the areas we have access to aren't exactly big to begin with. So within, like, I think, what, the first week, I had already explored all of them. And I guess for this game, they did want it to be much more Harvest Moon themed, as opposed to, what, Legend of Zelda type themed.
Oh.
Because it is definitely in the vibe of Harvest Moon to just be all like, hey, here's your farm, do what you will.
Hey, you got a free boot.
A boot what?
I said a free boot.
Hey, I got a fishing skill point.
Hooray.
I'm level 15 in fishing. What's the skill cap? 99? Just keep doing this until I have level 99 fishing, and then basically just wake up, deal with the crops, deal with the animals, talk to everyone in town, get a fortune from Alicia, check for new quests, and then sleep.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Okay. Who doesn't like us yet? Julia, Egan, Jake, obviously, and Max. But I think I've talked to all of them today. I don't know where those people are, so I guess let's just keep fishing till our inventory gets full, and then let's sell the fish and then do more fishing. Oh, might as well be full. Oh, right, because Julia runs this. You shouldn't leave a lit candle just sitting there. That's a fire hazard. 2 fire hazards. Where in the town is Julia? There's
Where
just a
in the world is Julia?
Yep, that's the vibe I was going for. Also, I really didn't think it would do this much, but having a robot vacuum, getting the robot vacuum was actually a really good idea.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was concerned to be, like, you know, loud and inefficient and, like, whatnot. What? Why is the game lagging so much right now?
Hi. Afternoon.
Aren't they pretty?
There, there's 2 more people. I just need to find Egan, and I don't even know who no, Egan runs the inn, right? And Jake. The game really does not want me to be right down there right now.
Where can you find Egan and Jake?
I don't know.
Is anyone in the church? Surprisingly, no. Huh.
Hello. Good afternoon.
For everyone else, it's like some nice things like, hey, do you like the cherry blossoms? Or, aren't they so pretty? For her, it's, hey, ever wonder how they taste? Hey.
Hi.
This is UA, not selling things as per usual.
Hey there. Hi there.
The cherry
Yes.
blossoms are beautiful, but not as beautiful as Alicia. I mean, what?
Gosh, it's just gonna break your heart when the town decides to burn her for being a witch.
Hey there!
That's not Egan.
Alright, there's 2 last places where Egan could potentially be, but I think everyone's going home now.
Uh-oh.
It's almost 5 p.m. And I think that Egan is the one who runs the inn. This isn't the inn.
The inn is probably the one marked inn.
No, this is actually just half a restaurant.
So it's not an in, it's an out? Hey, yo.
Well, it was, but then I had surgery.
You might need to rewind to see if you can find them.
Who's it who what?
To see if you can find them, right? If they're all going home?
I mean, if they're going home, they don't, like, lock their doors until, like, 6.
Oh. What time is it?
5.
Okay, so you have an hour to find them.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so I
There's
have
one.
talked to Egan already.
You sure?
'Cause-
Oh, what about Jake?
Jake just doesn't like humans, so... Wouldn't be surprised if I've already talked to him, but he just doesn't like me still.
Is he a dog?
No?
Oh. So he's not Jake the dog.
No.
Hi. Afternoon.
Oh gosh. Shout out to Rune Factory 4, where in order to romance one of the romanceable NPCs, you literally have to, like, beat 3/4 of the campaign.
Huh.
Yep, one of the NPCs will not let you get to at least three, I think it's 3 friendship. Which, by the way, there is a quest to get to it at least 3 friendship with everybody, which you cannot do until beating a certain part in the campaign.
Oh.
And now it's 6 p.m. Yeah. Doors be locked.
Oh well.
We tried.
Evening.
You gonna fish in the bath?
I wish I could, but I don't think it'll let me in. Oh, it will. Fish inspector! I should know that doing this takes a lot more time, but I don't think that this actually gives us extra experience by hitting it in the water.
Interesting.
Alright, so that gave about that much XP. Oh no! No, it does give a little bit more experience. I think like about 50% more, so... I guess I'm just gonna be doing this for the rest of the episode. That's already definitely over time. So, any last things that we should talk about here?
I like pizza.
Cool, cool. Hey, you think there's another episode of that vending machine anime out yet? I should go and check
Maybe.
once I'm done with this.
Yes, you should.
And go and see if, yeah. Like, yeah. The players have been trying to convince the DM to watch the vending machine anime. And, sorry, I'm just still laughing at the idea of just, like, a Nuka-Cola machine just following around a party of adventurers. A dark and beautiful vending machine. Speaking of which, the dark template
Yeah.
definitely came in handy.
I told you.
Because we had to roll hide, and we had to roll move silently.
I told
And-
you.
And I had to use my dark vision. And my extra movement speed came in handy. The only thing that hasn't come in handy yet is the resistance to cool damage and hide in plain sight. And technically the superior low life vision, but like whatever. So,
I mean, the hide in plain sight is gonna be eventually useful for you if you ever have to run a infiltration mission. Because
Yeah,
I mean,
we
just pretend that you're being installed at in some group's base or whatever.
hide in plain sight, I'm just a regular vending machine. I've been here this whole time. Yeah, but yeah, I've mentioned it before, but playing in like a Fallout themed campaign where I'm immune to radiation damage is awesome. And the DM did not decide to roll, okay, well, you're irradiated, so now all the stuff that you come in contact with has rads permanently.
Nice. Will you join us, Julia?
No.
Oh.
Why would Julia join? Also, look at this! The character's, like, entire body underneath their shoulders is just under the ground.
I don't want to go swimming in acid. I'm trying to decide if I actually want to play a game while I'm sitting around here, because I have to do a backup thing to set up for the mods for Mass Effect. I'm also trying to save space by moving some of the anime stuff from one drive to another.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like, great, I'm having to back up like 100 gigs of stuff, and I'm transferring another 100 gigs of stuff from a second drive to a third drive. So all three of the drives plugged into my computer are busy.
Mm-hmm.
Does speeding up the game actually help?
I mean, yeah, it does, because then I can use the fishing rod more frequently, as opposed to doing it at this speed.
Oh, I see. Okay. I mean, my immediate thought is, oh, you have it on fast forward. I mean, it just means that you have to click faster.
Yeah.
But it also looks like fast forward doesn't actually fast forward by a great amount. Like, it might be double.
It's like double?
1.5 to double.
Yeah. It's not like how some things have it where the fast forward is like 10 times speed or something stupid like that. Once again, though, shout out to Boon Factory 4, where whenever you get a skill point, you get a little bit of, like, permanent stats.
Ah.
Also, in this game, if you get a level up, you do not go back up to max health, unlike Rune Factory 1, as well as Rune Factory... I'm not sure.
I mean, unless that's a feature of the second part of the game.
Suddenly, whenever you level up, you get... I wouldn't put it past this game to do something like that. I mean, I am just in the demo, after all. Gosh, I can't help but wonder, like, if I had gotten this game as a kid and played it, like, I don't think I would have played enough to reach the second part.
Yeah, considering that what you need for the second part is, like, a bunch of money, and you have to get married, and you have to, build a few things.
Although, I did play Harvest Moon Friends of Middletown enough to get married in that game.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to get married, and that's technically step one.
Yeah, oh gosh. I don't know who the flip... You wanna know what would be one of the stupidest speedruns ever? Harvest Moon 100%. Harvest Moon Friends of Middletown 100% speedrun.
Is that even possible?
I mean, strictly speaking, if you're assuming get married to anyone and have a kid, because if you really want, like, the most stuff in the game, you would have to let all of the NPCs get married to each other, so you'd have to marry the Harvest Goddess, which I don't think you can even get married until year 4 or 5, as opposed to year 1 for at least others. So plus you need a whole bunch of qualifications to get married to the Harvest Goddess, and then get all of the tools, all of the cursed tools, get all of them purified, and a lot of those are super annoying to purify, and then go for the even higher level tools later on down in the depths of the winter dungeon that say only open in the winter time unless you go past floor 300 in the regular mine. to get teleport stones, starting year 3 at the earliest. But then you also have to be married for at least 50 years to get the winter cottage. Not to mention having to get 1 million or 1 billion Gs for the in-town cottage.
Oh.
Which, I mean, if you're doing everything else, that would be nothing. But, yeah, you need to be married for 50 years to get the mountain cottage.
Fun.
And considering if you're going for Harvest Goddess marriage, it might be 4 or 5 years to get married. If you're going for anyone else, you can probably get married within year 1. Like if Rune Factory 4 or Rune Factory 5 had a thing of like, oh, you have to be married for 50 years to get this, I would never find out about. To be fair, I didn't find out about it for Harvest Moon either until I literally read about it online. But who the flip played that game, got married, and they continued playing that file for 50 in-game years?
That person points.
What's the in-game time? 6 p.m.? Sounds like time to save and go to bed. Well, you know,
It's been 6 p.m. for a while.
if you're inside in Rune Factory 1 and Rune Factory 2, time doesn't pass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's been that time for a while.
Time to sleep!